Welcome anyone to my YouTube channel. This is Everett, aka Two Beasts to Kill You, aka the Beast with the Least. And in this video, I kind of want to just talk about Nintendo a little bit and maybe their Xbox One tour, we'll call it, for the Switch too. But before we get into all that, if you like the videos that I put out, the content that I sometimes when I get the opportunity and do my best to put on this channel, like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. But let's go ahead and talk about what's going on with Nintendo and just everything that's probably gonna keep going wrong, we'll say. So, obviously, as I'm pretty sure we all know, they just released their direct, or not released, but had their direct for the Switch 2. A lot of good stuff that was in it, showing games, features that I'm pretty sure a lot of us probably wanted, like, better graphics. And I know I'm very much in the camp of I wanted better frame rates and everything. But it's everything that's come after the direct. And oh boy, has that not... It's not been good. I mean, first off, it was the price coming out that started a little bit. This whole snowball effect. $450 for the Switch. Switch 2. Which I kind of figured it could be $400, $450. Makes sense. Still not some people some people not happy about it. But it is what it is. But then there was prices for, like, Joy-Cons, I think, are $90. I'd have to look it up again, but I believe it was $90. The camera not being cheap, even though it's cheaply made. I mean, Hori is putting out, I think it's Hori, they're putting out a Switch 2 camera that looks like, oh my god, I'm not remembering those, piranha plants. There we go. It looks like a piranha plant, and I think it's cheaper than the actual Switch, official Switch camera you're going to get. There's just things like that. But then you started to see more that really was, or more started to come out that was really just starting to rub people the wrong way. One of the first big things after the Switch price was price of video games. Now, $70 obviously is pretty much just, not pretty much, $70 is the standard. And there were some games that were $70, like the Donkey Kong Bonanza. But then you saw Mario Kart World, $80 digital, $90 physical. The price for, like, Tears of the Kingdom Switch 2 edition being $80. Things like that. Not going over well, to say the least. But that wasn't even it afterwards. Then you had things like the Switch 2 not World Tour, Home Tour, I believe it's called. Or Welcome Tour. There we go. In the Switch 2 Direct, it said it was going to be a paid download, but the price came out. It's going to be $10. Which, right off the bat, people are not going to be happy about, that they have to buy something that, in essence, is just a demo. Yes, it's to show the features and get you acclimated with everything that the Switch 2 has to offer, but still just a demo. I mean, when the Wii came out, there's now even a story resurfacing that Reggie Fils-Aimé pushed to make sure that Wii Sports was a pack-in for the Nintendo Wii when that came out, because apparently they wanted to sell it separately. That obviously did wonders. I mean, there was that Astrobot game for the PS5 that essentially was doing that too, showing you the features for the DualSense controller. That came with the PS5. So, right off the bat, $10, okay, that's going to rub people the wrong way. But a Nintendo exec said, it's not expensive, people. It was, quote unquote, not an exorbitant price. So that that's obviously not going to work. That's not going to go well with people. Um, let me see if I could see. There was some other things too. Not only that, but when it came to the $80 games, obviously people are going to be upset about that. But people want a good justification. There's the whole Trump tariff thing going on, although he's paused them, I guess, right now. But when talking about the prices of Switch 2 games, they just basically said, hey, it is what it is, and saying that Nintendo is taking the variable approach to pricing Switch 2 titles, which, it's not going to go over well. You're just saying, like, hey, we're going to price it what we're going to price it. You're going to take what we're going to take then. And there's no ifs, ands, or buts. And then the last thing that is really just, like, I mean, if you see the thumbnail that I'm using for this video, you already know what I'm talking about. It's the busting of Don Matrick. Now, for those of you who don't know who Don Matrick was, he was basically the head for Xbox, or he was the head of Xbox from the 360 going into the Xbox One, at least at that point. I don't remember when he took over. I'm pretty sure it was during 360 days for the Xbox. But when they were going from Xbox 360 to Xbox One, there was that whole, you have to be online to play your games, or there was going to be like a once-a-day check to make sure that you were online for the Xbox One, which they did, eventually reverse, which is hilarious to me, but how just every console needs to be online, and everyone's online anyway nowadays, but that's a whole other thing. The problem with that, or not the problem, but the thing with that was when asked about why they were doing that, Don Matrick, not an exact quote, but this is pretty close to it. Well, for the people who don't want to play online or have their console connected online, we have one for you. It's called the Xbox 360. So, in that same vein, Doug Bowser, the American head for Nintendo, so the head for Nintendo America, when talked about, Switch 2's pretty expensive, $450, I don't think is that expensive, but he he said, we recognize there are some people that may not be able to afford the Switch 2's price point. That's why we wanted to make the other Switch platforms available. Which is in essence, he's basically saying, if you can't afford the Switch 2, if you're too broke, well, we got the Nintendo Switch 1 or the Switch Lite for you. That's, again, not been going over well. And, I obviously agree with a lot of the stuff. A lot of these price points, $80 for digital Mario Kart World, $90 for physical. It's ridiculous. Obviously, I think they're trying to push people to buy the $500 bundle for the Switch 2, which comes with Mario Kart World, which is probably the bundle I'm going to be trying to go for that bundle. Well, I'm not necessarily on the side of $450 is expensive for the Switch 2. I understand that it's I've seen I think it was a Digital Foundry saying it's PS4 level. I get that, but there's obviously consoles aren't just graphics. It's the games you're gonna play with them. It's the things like the Switch 2 is a handheld console as well. So stuff like that is important to me. That I'm willing to go ahead and spend $500 for the console. I know that that's probably not something that I should be saying, because there will be enough people to rake me over the coals for that. But as for just the approach that Nintendo seems to be going with, of just saying hey, you guys don't like it, tough shit. I don't understand what it is that that I'm definitely dating myself here, that Dave Chappelle's sketch of the printing store. Like, oh, cause fuck them, that's why. Like, why are you guys doing this? Cause fuck them, that's why. And it is become a trend though, when a console maker has a very successful console, they tend to their next console they just shoot themselves in the foot. You know, it happened when PlayStation went from the PlayStation 2 to the PlayStation 3, where they had a very successful PlayStation 2, still the highest selling console of all time, but then they go and like, oh, $599 US. Oh, you want it? Just get a second job. Stuff like the giant, I think it was a giant crab or something in one of their demos. Just things like that. Or, you know, the Xbox 360 to the Xbox One with the like, oh yeah, we're going to have the Kinect camera. It's $500. You can't let people borrow games, which, I mean, that was never an issue for me. I don't like people borrowing my games because people destroy them. You know, having to be online, you know, things like that. Even too, you know, the Nintendo going from the Wii to the Wii U. There was a lot of stuff that made that console not popular, like, you know, having the Wii U gamepad and things like that. You know, probably naming it the Wii U probably didn't help either. But, you know, also we're even getting from PlayStation 4 to PlayStation 5 has been some of that, you know, like hubris of console makers, where it's like, what are you doing exactly? You're not doing the things that made you successful last generation. I mean, we'll probably see that with the Series X to the Series X2, whatever their next console is called. But yeah, so right now Nintendo doing that. They're going on the Hubris, the console maker Hubris World Tour right now. And I just gotta say, I don't think it's gonna matter in the end. I've had this discussion before. I don't think I've had it on this discussion on podcast. Just I think with friends in private. But people always when there's things like this, you see online say people say vote with your wallet, which that's all fine and dandy. Vote with your wallet, and sometimes it works. You see that, like the Wii U clearly didn't sell enough, so they switched. Nintendo switched something up, made the switch, or maybe that was always the plan. I don't know. But it has become very clear that if something is popular enough, it doesn't matter what the internet says about it, or does not like about it, loves about it, whatever it is. If something is popular enough, the casual audience, whatever you want to call it, you know, the not terminally online audience, is going to go and pay for it. They're going to go buy it. They're going to go see it. They're going to go do whatever it is. They're going to go get it. And it doesn't matter. Just look at, like, you know, right now currently the Minecraft movie's out. And if you look online, that you would think that movie's bombed to hell. But it looks like it's on track to make $1 billion. People talk crap about Call of Duty every year. You think that franchise was dead, but it's always the top selling game every year, pretty much. So, you know, that's why for me, when I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to buy this Switch stuff, like, there's nothing I'm going to do about it. There's nothing I can do about it. I already know the Switch is going to sell like hotcakes, the Switch 2, and their games are still going to sell. People are still going to buy them because people they don't have self-control. But, you know, it is what it is. Anyways, that's where I'm going to go ahead and end my little opinion piece on this. I see my video's running long. Just wanted to put something out there. But, again, if you like the content I put out there, the things that I do with this channel, you know, like, subscribe, share. Trying to grow this channel. See what I can make it. But, until next time, I'll catch you later.